Good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Jean, and welcome to episode 2 of the Knitting Camper. I am so happy to be able to do another episode for you. I had so much fun with the last one, although I was a little nervous and got a little tongue twisted. And it'll probably happen again, but I just am thankful that I am able to do this and share my joy of something that I enjoy doing with all of you. And let's just go ahead and jump right in. So last week I asked the question about mystery yarn. How should I go about solving the mystery of the yarn that I was gifted? And I came up with a solution, and I'm done. I've solved the mystery yarn. So what I did was I took my kitchen scale, my simple little kitchen scale, put the yarn in, weighed it, found out how many grams I had of each color, and then I just took a ruler. I'm sorry for the back noise. I took the ruler and I did the wraps per inch and found out that. So that told me, what weight the yarn was. And some of it I was able to determine if it was like a Red Heart or a Lion Brand or Hobby Lobby. And I was able to find some of it online and to get the name of the yarn and to find out what the total grams and total yardage was of a full skein. So I was able to roundabout figure out how much I had of each one. So it was a lot of fun. It didn't really take too long. So I was able to get it all done and made little tags, and I just put on there, what the yarn is, who I believed it was made by, the color, the grams, the yardage, the weight of the yarn, and then on the back just put what the fiber content was. I will tell you that the majority of it is acrylic, which is fine, not a problem. I was blessed with it, so hopefully I can bless others by making things and gifting them away. Hats, mittens, scarves, plenty I can do with it. I don't have a lot of each color, so probably will be making hats, which is what I've done a couple of them so far. So that's probably what's going to take place there. So I'm just happy to report that the mystery of the yarn has been solved. And that's one thing I can check off on my get organized list, which is what I'm desperately trying to do. So that's done. I'm thrilled with that. And let's see, life here in Georgia has been uneventful. The weather is changing. Woke up this morning and went outside to have my first cup of coffee. It was 39 degrees and I loved every second of it. I was in my comfy cozy robe and I had a hot cup of coffee and was just sitting on the front porch. It was still dark out, but the air was crisp and it just felt refreshing. It felt cool and refreshing and just loved it. Where I am in Georgia, we don't have an overabundance of fall foliage like they do up in North Georgia. We do have a little bit. So it's nice to be able to drive around and see the leaves changing and the season coming in. So I welcome fall with open arms. Just so happy for the cooler weather. So I have a question. When you're knitting, do you watch TV? Do you listen to books? Do you listen to podcasts? I just finished a book called Half a Heart, and I can't think of who it was by. It was I listened to it off my iPad as I've been knitting. It was a really good book. a little sad, but in the end, of course, it had a happy ending. But I'll put the information in the description below. If you read while you're knitting or listen to Audible books, let me know which ones you're listening to. I'm always up for a good book. And yeah, just especially when I'm doing an easy knit, I like to listen to something as I'm doing that. Other than that, let's see, just gearing up for the fall and winter to come, doing a lot of yard cleanup, pine straw. I do not like pine straw. We have a lot of pine trees down the side of our yard. And that pine straw, Larry just got it all cleaned up, and sure enough, within 24 hours, a storm came in and it doesn't even look like he touched the yard. It's just covered up with pine straw again. The good thing is that we can put it around plantings or put it in the vegetable garden and when we prepare it for next year. So that'll be fun. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm sure many of you are as well. Can't wait to spend time with my nephew and his fiance on Thanksgiving Day. I don't have to cook. I'm so excited. I'm so excited I don't have to cook Thanksgiving dinner. Yay. And then we're going to be going camping a couple of days after Thanksgiving. So I'm in the mode of making my list of food and items that we need to take and put into the trailer. And heading off, we're going to be going to A.H. Stevens State Park over in Crawfordville, Georgia. So it'll be cold enough and to be able to have a campfire, and I'm looking forward to be able to sit in front of that fire and knit. So like I kind of alluded to the fact that I'm trying to organize my craft room. When I was working, I would just come in, grab something, toss it aside, and that was it. But so my yarn is done. Now I want to figure out the best way to keep my needles. I know that sounds like basic. I should know how to keep my needles, but I can't seem to find the best way. I have mason jars I have them stuck in. I have cases that they're in. They're kind of scattered all over. What do you do to organize your needles? Leave a comment below about how you organize your knitting needles, crochet needles. Be really helpful, and I would really appreciate any tips on that. So that'll probably be the thing I work on in the coming week, organizing my needles. Let's see. So other than that, life is just life. Get up in the morning, do that housewife chores, which I'm still enjoying. I know, crazy. Let's see. Oh, our dishwasher died several months ago. And we're like, no, we don't need a dishwasher. It's just the two of us. How many plates can we possibly use in the course of a day? Crazy. How many dirty dishes we end up with. So we decided to go ahead and get another dishwasher, and it will be here next week. I'm so excited. I don't have to wash dishes. Now see, I wasn't washing dishes before. Larry was doing all of that because, he was the house husband. If I don't have to wash them, I'm not going to wash them. I'm going to put them in the dishwasher. So I'm thrilled about that. Can't wait for that to come in and I can stop hand washing dishes. I'm spoiled. I can't help it. So let's see. What am I working on? I am currently working on, let's see, this right here. I'm working on making a little hat, just a basic beanie hat. I'm using mystery yarn. The brown, I believe, is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby Coffee, which I've used in the houndstooth scarf that I showed last week. I have no idea what this yarn is. Let's see. I have no idea. No idea. So I just thought I'll use that to make the brim of the hat, and then just do regular stockinette stitch here and just bind it off at the top, you know, decreasing, which I'll probably start in a little bit, to just make a little beanie. Perfect. I'll probably end up gifting this to someone. I don't know. I may end up keeping it for myself because the colors aren't showing up quite as much. So, but yeah, so mystery yarn being used. Love it. And the other thing is the Musselburgh hat. I know a lot of people are knitting it. And this is the one I'm doing for Larry. He loves the pattern. I'm about halfway done, maybe halfway. I don't know. I'm just going to keep knitting. I am using this is authentic hand-dyed yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is 100% superwash merino, and the color is iron soot. I don't have the front of the tag, but that's the back of the tag. Is that coming through? So it's working up really nice. And this is what I'm usually working on for the 30 minutes in the morning, which usually, do your 30 minutes of knitting really, are they only 30, is it only 30 minutes? I set a 30-minute timer, and I'm usually done an hour, hour and a half later. Just get too involved. Sitting there listening to a book, listening to music or a podcast, and knitting. 30 minutes just isn't long enough for me. Can't help it. So those are two works in progress. Another one that I have is I have a basket of small balls of cotton yarn. This is all by Lily's Sugar and Cream. And I'm putting it on the loom, and I'm making coffee mugs. Or no, not coffee mugs. Mug rugs. Maybe I haven't had enough coffee. Mug rugs. So this one's completely finished. It's been sewn, washed, set, and these were my experiment to see how much I needed of the yarn to get a set of 4. And this is one that just came off. You can see that the stitches, the weave is quite open, but once you wet finish it, and this being cotton yarn, I put it in a hot wash, and it shrinks it, and it pulls it together and makes a tight weave. You can see the difference in the sizes. So this one, these are just came off, and they all look different, but it's all the same yarn. It's a variegated. So these are ready to be washed. And what I do is I space between each one. And I'll show that at another time. But what I do is I sew right along here, using a zigzag stitch to keep the fringe here. And once you wash it and the fringe opens up, it locks everything in. So I should be able to get quite a few mug rugs. They make great little gifts or hostess gifts, you know, why not? So I believe in using every last bit of yarn. I do not like throwing or discarding just bits of yarn away. I'll figure out a way to use it. I have baskets back here that are full of bits. Oops, got hooked on the door. So those are the only whips that I have right now. I do have a couple of finished objects. The first are a couple of hats. And this is a pattern by, where did I put it? Here it is. I found this pattern. It's the classic knit hit. It was a classic knit hat. And it was a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'll put a link down below in the description. They're just basic beanies. There's this one. And then this one I put a pom-pom on. And I don't know if I want to put a pom-pom on this one. I was thinking a tassel. Do people still put tassels on things, or is that kind of cheesy anymore? So this is mystery yarn, sort of. I believe that this is, if I'm not mistaken, I had a lot of Vanna's Choice yarn. Years ago, I was going to do a temperature blanket. Didn't happen. So I had all this yarn, and I used a lot of it in the Arna Carlos quarantine squares and turned it into a blanket. I'll show that in a future video, and then I'll link to their site and all of that as well. But that's what I believe this yarn is from. But they're nice and warm, nice and squishy warm. So classic knit hat is the pattern. I have a scarf. This is a hand woven scarf. It's done in plain weave. And the end is semi-gathered at the bottom. And the fringe has been twisted. It's a good size. It's a good size scarf. Good size scarf. And it's nice and soft, and it's just drapey. It really is drapey. And the warp is, I believe, Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn, which the warp is the yarn that goes vertically. And in this one, oh no, this is the warp. This is the warp. I have no idea what it is. No idea. So that's what I use for the warp. And then the weft, which goes back and forth, is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. And it's an off-white color, but soft and drapey and comfy cozy. And another finished object is a pair of socks. Well, actually 2 pairs of socks. These I made with doing the, it was Spooky Sock Small 2021, hosted by Moonglowyarn Co., Nitty Natty, and the Crazy Sock Lady. And it was basically knit up a pair of Halloween socks and share it. And so these are the socks that I did. And I have mohair in the top, in the cuff at the top, a little bit of mohair mixed in there. And this is by Hobby Lobby, authentic hand dyed. And I want to say it was called Slate, but there's orange and black and gray. And if you look close, let me see. If you look close, some of the black actually looks like little bats. I don't know if you can see it or not there. But they were fun to make, and the pattern is a vanilla sock by the Crazy Sock Lady. And I had enough yarn left over that I made a pair of shorties for Larry, which was fun. And we both wore them Halloween while sitting in the house watching Halloween movies. So, and this yarn by Hobby Lobby, it's really nice. This is a superwash. This was merino, superwash merino with nylon. So it worked up really nice. Yum, yum. Loved them. They're very comfortable to wear. I do have another scarf that I'm going to share. This is black and white. And this is a plain weave as well. The white is Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn. The black, I believe in here, you can see a little bit of it, is an unknown yarn. And it is also has the mohair in there. I don't think you can see the halo from it. And then there's a chunky black. So it was a lot of fun to make. It was easy to work up, and it's quite long, and I just left the fringe like that. It's quite long as well. So it'll wrap really nice around. It is a little itchy on the neck because of the mohair. But if you have a turtleneck, or, you know, you wear it over your coat, it'll be nice and warm and comfy cozy. So that's all I have right now. I do have other items that are completed, but they are located in a different area of the house. So yeah, that's all I have today. I'll leave links to anything that I've mentioned in the description below. Let me know how you store your needles. And I thank you all very much, and I hope you all have a great, wonderful, blessed rest of your week. Bye-bye.